Yes.
Okay, is this in person?
Yes.
Okay, again at central office?
Yes.
Okay. What were the purpose of those meetings?
I can't recall specifically. The wide range of issues having to do with everything from the pandemic to budget crises at the state level. Those are two things that were really the most dominant concerns during my 4 years on the agenda of the school board.
Okay. Do you know what MPSU is?
Yes.
What is MPSU?
It's department or part of MPS which tries to provide a means by which teachers can be certified. It's part of our Grow Your Own attempt to diversify the teaching staff for MPS.
I'm going to draw you back to Exhibit 1 here. It says, the board retired to executive session, discussed concerns regarding the administration's recommended appointment of Dr. Jeremiah Holliday to the position of Chief Academic Officer. It was disclosed to the board in that executive session that the OAE had been made aware that Dr. Holliday was at that time the subject of an external investigation by the city attorney's office. Are you aware of a city attorney's office investigation into Dr. Holliday?
I don't recall specifically the investigation, but what this reads, what you just read to me, I believe is accurate.
Okay, do you know who Robin Peterson is?
Actually, no, I thought maybe it was a misspelling and that was my name. No, I don't. I mean, but we went through a lot of city attorneys in the last 4 years, so I get all sorts of names.
Okay, and you're not being represented by a city attorney today, right?
No.
Okay, who are you represented by?
This young man over here.
Okay, and how did you become represented by this young man?
I'm the object the questions attorney-client privilege and instruction not to answer.
Well, are you paying for this young man here today?
Same objections.
It doesn't seem to be your business.
It doesn't, excuse me, it doesn't seem to be my business? Is that what the answer is?
Again, I'm the object to attorney-client privilege, instruct this witness not to answer.
Okay. Now, sir, my job here is to ask you, are you refusing to answer this question?
No.
Okay. So, why do you believe that Mr. Reardon is representing you?
I'm not sure where that question's going. I don't have any comment on it.
Okay. You understand that you're under oath,
Right.
okay, and you're under court proceeding, right?
Right.
Okay. So, you also understand that you don't have to know where my question's leading in order for you to answer it. Is that fair? Okay. So are you refusing to answer that question?
Repeat the question.
Will you please repeat that question?
Question. Okay, so why do you believe that Mr. Reardon is representing you?
Do your best.
Besides the fact he seems like a nice guy, it was recommended to me that he would represent me here.
Okay. Was the person who made that recommendation an attorney?
Again, at this point in time, it's attorney-client privilege to instruct this individual not to answer as well as work product, but I'm instructing you not to answer that question, okay?
I will not answer that question.
Okay. And to be clear, My only question is, and so you understand it, is the person who you advised you to talk to Mr. Reardon, was that person an attorney?
Same objections,
Not gonna
attorney-client
answer.
privilege, I'm instructing not to answer.
Okay. Do you know who that person was?
Again, this is a roundabout way of asking the question I just instructed him not to answer, so I'm instructing not to answer that question.
Are you refusing to answer that question? Okay. Now, you no longer have any connection with Milwaukee Public Schools, right?
I'm mentoring some students, some teacher at Pratt Street School.
Okay. Do you believe you're paying for Mr. Reardon here today?
Again,
I'm
this
not
is
gonna-
attorney-client privilege. I'm instructing this witness not to answer those questions regarding representation.
Do you know how Mr. Reardon came to represent MPS?
No, I don't.
Okay. Do you believe that happened while you were on the school board or something else?
I'm not certain.
Okay. But at some point, to bring us back to where we were, you were, MPS was represented by the city attorney's office, right?
At different times and different issues, yes.
Okay. And then Mr. Reardon came, and his law firm came on, is that right?
Check the former question, Groenberg also foundation calls for speculation.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
You're not sure, okay. So just to be clear, you're not sure how Mr. Reardon's law firm came to represent MPS while you were a member of the board, right?
I'm gonna check the former question. First of all, it's not what he testified to. Secondly, it calls for speculation and foundation. Go ahead and answer if you can.
I'm not sure about the answer to your question. I don't have an answer.
Okay. So I'll keep going. It says it was shared that this internal investigation was initiated at the request of the Office of Human Resources in response to concerns raised in the office surrounding Dr. Holliday. Do you dispute that Matt Chasen shared with you that the external investigation was initiated at the request of the Office of Human Resources?
Check the foundation. Go ahead and answer if you can.
Yeah, I'm not, I don't dispute that. If you say he said that, and if this is his testimony, then I would agree. I don't recall that being, it's not in my memory, but it's completely possible.
Great. And then it says subsequent board action that evening resulted in Dr. Holliday remaining in the position of interim chief academic officer. Did you see?
That's true.
That's true. Okay. And do you recall that happening?
No.
Okay. What is your recollection of what happened?
The board decided that not to promote him,
Okay.
because he was interim, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he did not get promoted to whatever his full,
Was there a vote on that?
yes.
Okay. How did you vote?
I voted to not move him upward, to keep him at the same position,
And why did you do that?
because of concerns that have been raised.
Okay. Do you recall there being any concerns about Dr. Holliday's treatment of the subordinates in a racially discriminatory manner?
No,
Okay. So, and let's keep going there. It says on January 7th of 2020, Assistant City Attorney Robin Peterson issued findings of his investigation of the concerns surrounding Dr. Holliday. Do you recall receiving those findings at any time?
I think we're on June 1st. Oh, we're on the first page, so. There we go.
Yep, thank you, Chris.
Issues, findings, that's it.
And what was the question?
Do you recall him raising race-based concerns?
I don't, that's not what the sentence reads. Are you asking a different question?
Yes, I thank you. Because without reference to the reporter, I'll just say, and ask the question again to be fair to you, sir. Do you recall Assistant City Attorney Peterson issuing findings to you?
Yes.
No. And that's, to be fair to me, you now recall Assistant City Attorney Peterson issuing findings to you, right?
Check the phone questions argumentative, but go ahead and answer.
Yeah, yes, I mean, quite frankly, I don't, no, I don't recall the specifics, but I do recall that there was discussion, that there was, and that ultimately the board voted to maintain his position, not to promote him.
Okay. And then it says here that Peterson made a conclusion that Dr. Holliday made a race-based hiring decision. Do you recall that?
I don't recall that, but he could have stated that.
Okay.
I don't recall very many of the specifics, I just recall the general, what we decided.
Fair enough. So I'll ask the question this way. Would such a conclusion affect your vote to to keep Dr. Posley, Dr. Holliday at interim?
I'm going to check the foundation as well as speculation. Go ahead and answer the question if you can.
I think the concern was sort of leadership style, that it was not promoting, there was concerns about his leadership style.
Okay, so this finding that he had made a race-based hiring decision in violation of law, that didn't affect your conclusion, is that right?
Again, I'm going to object to speculation as well as foundation. Go ahead and answer the question if you can.
Yeah, I don't recall that specific statement by Peterson.
Great. If you had heard that statement by a city attorney about a Milwaukee Public Schools employee, would you vote to promote that employee going future or no?
Check the following question. It's broad and vague. Also calls for speculation on the part of this witness. Go ahead and answer if you can.
Yeah, there'd be a lot of other issues that would be taken into account. I can't answer it.
Okay. So then it's fair to say that a finding by the city attorney that an MPS employee made a race-based hiring decision in violation of the law and district policy wouldn't necessarily disqualify that employee from promotion. Is that fair?
Check the following question.
It had to
Calls
be-
for speculation. Go ahead and answer if you can.
I'd have to have much more of a broad context and hear all sides of the story and then make a decision.
So that's yes, it wouldn't necessarily, it would not necessarily disqualify an employee for promotion.
Again, you're putting words in this individual's mouth. He didn't say that. I'm going to check the question. It's argumentative. Also calls for speculation. And the question's been asked and answered. Go ahead and answer if you can.
I think I answered it the best I can.
Well, and that's why I was asked that question, was to get the, so that I could get a better understanding of what that answer meant. So when you're saying that it's part of a finding that an MPS employee made a race-based hiring decision in violation of the law and district policy, and that you're also saying that that wouldn't necessarily disqualify that person from promotion because of a larger mosaic of issues. Do I understand that correct?
Check the phone question. Argumentative. Go ahead and answer if you can. Calls for speculation.
In making a decision, we'd have to look at a broader context and consider various statements.
Great. Can you give me some examples of some behavior that would mollify a decision by a city attorney that a city MPS employee had made a race-based hiring decision in violation of the law and district policy?
Check the following question. It's argumentative. Calls for speculation. It's also broad and vague and unanswerable, but do the best you can if you have a response.
I know that I would look at and listen to people who work with him or people who supervised him, an individual, and make a decision on including all factors.
Great. Did you talk to Dr. Posley about Dr. Holliday?
He was in a meeting with the board where we talked, yes.
What did he say?
I can't recall.
It's broad and vague for me to ask this witness what the superintendent said to him. That's broad and vague.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Thanks for that clarification.
Sure.
All right. Do you know how old you are?
I'm getting old, that's one of my problems.
Okay.
Yes, I do know all that.
Okay. How old are you?
70 years old.
Okay. Is there any reason why you aren't able to testify here today?
He's testifying here today.
Okay. Excuse me, can you answer that question instead of having your attorney answer it for you?
It's obvious, he's sitting right in front of you.
I'm testifying to it.
Okay. Have you taken any medications or illegal drugs that might impair your ability to testify here today?
Nope.
Okay. Is there anything else that might be affecting your testimony here today?
Check the phone questions, go ahead and answer if you can.
I'm doing the best I can in terms of answering your questions. You seem to repeat your questions often.
Great. You're not afraid of retaliation at any time?
By whom?
By anybody. You're not afraid of retaliation by anybody for your testimony here today?
For the testimony today.
No. Are you intimidated by anybody in this room?
Check the phone questions, it's already managed up, but go ahead and answer if you can.
No, I'm not.
You're not. Okay.
I assume you're doing your job.
All right. So then I'm going to skip a bullet point here, and it says I'm going to read verbatim an excerpt from the report of the Assistant City Attorney Robin Peterson.
Can you point to the particular?
It's the ultimate bullet point on there. I'm 3 lines down now.
And when it says I'm, who is I'm?
My understanding, just although I'm not testifying here, is that this is the report that was read out by Mr. Chase.
Oh, okay.
So, we'll keep going here, and this is the report by City Administrator Robin Peterson, who is now the author of the quote that I'm going to read to you. I'll submit. While there is only one substantiated allegation, I have taken care to qualify the findings of no substantiation, the remaining allegations upon consideration of them in isolation. When taken together, they join a larger mosaic of allegations regarding the reported historical conduct of Dr. Holliday, which does raise some cause for concern. In this investigation, I have spoken with a wide range of employees of the...
Excuse me, you actually misread the section.
I'll keep that in mind for future reference. Kelly,
If you're going to ask him a question about the statement, you should read it correctly.
I appreciate that.
Okay.
I'll keep your criticism in mind for
It's not
future
a
reference.
criticism, it's an objection, because if you're asking him to comment on a paragraph that you are reading...
Sir, I'm sure you know that
read
the
it
time
correctly.
to make objections is when I finish my question, not while I'm making my question.
I thought you were done.
Okay. So I guess we'll keep going there. So it says, Holiday, which does raise some cause for concern. In conducting this investigation, I have spoken with a wide range of employees of the district, of differing races, of differing sexes, of differing jobs and levels within the organization. Some retired, and some still employed. I acknowledge that these witnesses are self-selecting and that they are also Dr. Holliday's critics, and thus are likely to provide negative information about him and are also likely to direct me to interview others that are known to them to share negative opinions of Dr. Holliday. I would expect that Dr. Holliday could point me in the direction of self-selecting praising witnesses. However, nonetheless, I am struck by the consistency among these critical witnesses, both in the nature of the criticism, but also the depth of their feeling. It was a near universal sentiment that the work group under Dr. Holliday is a toxic and hostile work environment. It was commonly reported that the current work conditions are the worst they have ever been, by far and without exception. That the employees under Dr. Holliday operate under fear, intimidation, and under a watchful eye that scrutinizes every move, where he publicly ridicules every blunder, real or fabricated. Many witnesses expressed considering filing their own complaint, of leaving the district, and of losing hope that anything will change or get better so long as Dr. Holliday is in a position of influence. They despair of having to show up to work each day, reported the stress as affecting their personal lives, and one expressed having to seek professional therapy in order to deal with the stress caused specifically by the experience of Dr. Holliday. Now, I understand that I may not have read that verbatim there, but do you recall, generally speaking, learning of those complaints against Dr. Peterson, Dr. Holliday?
Yes.
Okay. Now, it's also fair to say that after you learned about those complaints, Dr. Holliday remained in a position of influence in the district, right?
Check the following questions, broad and vague, cause for speculation, go ahead and answer if you can.
He continued in the district. He was not promoted.
Sure, but he continued to supervise other employees, right?
Same
Yes,
objection.
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay, and you know that, right?
And I guess that when I say believe so, I don't know if he was transferred to another position at that point or not. But nonetheless, it probably was a supervisor position.
Okay. Well, we know that also because that this report also tells us of continuing that that report and those complaints were made to you a year previous to this report here about Dr. Holliday's misconduct. Is that fair?
Check the following questions, broad and vague, it's compound. Calls for speculation, go ahead and answer if you can.
It's hard for me. I don't know when these various things were stated. I thought we were talking about the time when the district was, the recommendation was to promote Dr. Holliday from interim to permanent. And I don't know exactly when that happened, but I do recall that conversation.
Well,